guys, welcome back to Tired Axe Outdoors. Today we're really excited. We are going to be working on a light pole, flagpole camera mount for the new kayaks. So we're going to use PVC for this. Got a stick of 1/2 inch, just a 10-foot stick of that. We got some fittings, just basic fittings. This whole project's going to be pretty inexpensive. I got online, I was looking at some kayak flags and some mounts for my GoPro, and some of them are anywhere from 40-50 bucks all the way up over 100, and those ones are great, but like to do things on a budget and like to do things with what I have. So we're going to go ahead and use PVC. I do have a flush mount rod holder mount from Scotty, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. And then also this this light has 3 modes. Got strobe, LED, so we got that. I think I got this at Target in the camping section. So we're gonna go ahead and make an adapter for this with PVC as well. So stick with us, and hope you guys enjoy the video. Okay, so what I did to get the measurement correct for the height of the GoPro is I just had my son stand behind me and hold the GoPro along with the tape measure. We tried 3 feet, we tried 3.5. I think 3.5 is perfect, so that captures like the the back of my head just a little bit, but it's going to give a nice wide angle in front of the kayak, so it's going to catch casting. It's going to see catching fish, landing fish. Hopefully, if there's a blow up on top water, it'll catch that as well. So I think 3.5 is going to be the perfect height. So overall it's going to be about 4 feet with the light on it. The camera's actually going to sit off to the side. So as we get going here, you guys will see that take shape. All right, guys, so I got a 10-foot stick, cut that down to 3 for the initial piece. Then this is going to be a T-end that goes on here with an extension out and up for the GoPro mount. So we're going to go ahead and measure off a 3-foot section, or 3-inch section, should say, of PVC. And this is going to be for the coming forward out of that T. So we'll just use a Sharpie. We'll go ahead and mark 3 feet. When we're all done with this, we'll glue everything together and we'll paint the PVC so that we won't have this white with red and all this stuff going on. So I just got this little tiny bench vise. I went to go pick up a pair of PVC cutters when I got the PVC at my local hardware store, and they were all out. So I'm going to be using just a real fine tooth saw. Hacksaw works. You can cut PVC with pretty much anything. The key is just getting a nice straight cut. So all right, so there's our 3-inch piece. So that's going to go into there. This is going to go onto there, kind of like that. Here, I'll turn it this way so you guys can see it better. So that's going to be our 3-inch T. We're going to go ahead and pop the elbow onto this side, because this is going to sit slightly off center in the kayak. I'll show you guys that location when we put the rod mount in. But yeah, so then it's going to come up, and then I'll show you the setup I use for mounting the GoPro. Cut one more small section here. And this one is only going to have to be, let's see, it's almost 1 inch down, so even a 2-inch stud on this part will work just fine. So we'll measure 2 inches there. Get that back in the vise. All right. So there's our 2-inch stud. So I'm going to go ahead and reposition the camera, and we'll get started on assembling this. All right, guys, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and build a mount cap for the GoPro. So basically, I've built this one already, 1/2 inch. It's just a 1/4-20 bolt with a nylon lock nut. You can see that on there. So, and you just attach it through, just a small hole in the cap. There's that. So all you need for that is a 1/2 inch cap, a 1/4-20 by 1 inch bolt right there, and a nylon lock nut in 1/4-20. Right. So we're just going to use a 1/4 inch drill bit right down the center. And drill a hole. Okay, got that. And we'll just drop our bolt up through this side. That just pushes in. Tighten that down. So it's easiest just to grab a socket and a wrench to get that tightened up. So that's a 7/16. So we got our ratchet gonna go on the inside. You just spin that nut down tight. Doesn't have to be crazy tight, just tight enough. All right, so just like that, we made ourselves another mount. Then you can just use this threaded type GoPro mount. That threads right on the top. Just like that. All right, so there we got our cap made. Thread that on there like that. We'll set that off to the side. So now this is the fun part. So you're gonna have to work a Dremel tool on the inside of this one piece to make it fit. So this top piece here is gonna be our extension up above our camera mount. Camera mount's gonna go right here. So camera mount's gonna sit there. There we go. Just like that. And then our light is going to go into the adapter on the top like that. And then in between here, you can attach a flag like we're going to do. You can leave it empty. Or if you don't need a light, you can just have this be a simple straight up piece that'll hold your GoPro. But we're going all or nothing here. We're going to do all 3 in 1. So we got that piece there. All right, so what we're gonna have to do to make this adapter is this will barely fit into that piece. That's a 3/4 female. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our Dremel tool and we're gonna put a aggressive sanding bit on there. We're gonna sand the inside of this on both sides so that we can fit our light on one side and a 1/2 inch female into the back side. And then that'll go onto there as an adapter. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Set all this off to the side. Put our GoPro up so we don't get covered in PVC dust. All right, let's go do a little test fit here. See how close we are. Got a little bit more work to do on that end. But we're getting pretty close on the light. So that's going in relatively nice. And I can't attach this permanently because this is where the batteries are for this light. So it's something that's got to fit snug, so it's not going to fall out and you're going to lose it, but it obviously can't be glued into the PVC. I'm going to switch batteries on our... Well, it looks like it's still okay. Check that. All right. So that fits nice into that cap. So we're going to go ahead and leave that side. And we're going to focus our attention onto the other side, which is going to have to go just slightly larger than that light. All right, so we're going to go ahead and switch up to a little bit more stout battery. This 4 amp hours should do it no problem. Make sure we get the right side. Let's see, so that's going to go in there. All right. Perfect. So there's our half female to our half or three quarter female, and that's going to be our adapter. So give me a sec, I'm going to clean this up and we'll finish putting this together. All right, so we got that cleaned up. That 4 amp hour battery really made a difference. Took care of removing that material no problem. All right, so here is our adapter. So once again, these two pieces, they're just going to fit in together like so. Our light's going to drop right in the top, just like that. So then this piece here, get that PVC nice and level. Once again, like I said, we're going to glue all this and paint it once everything gets set right. So we got our GoPro mount, and then we have our light mount, just like that. So this whole thing overall is going to be, let's see here, just about 4 feet off the deck of the kayak. So I figured, you know, I'd go a little bit longer if necessary, but I really wanted that 3.5 foot mark that we measured off on the GoPro. So if we do need to trim this or cut off a little bit, you know, we're going to do it off this backside down here. Yeah, this, you know, overall, I mean, minus the light and the mount, and of course the rod holder mount that we're going to use, you know, all the PVC, the fittings, this was like $5, and I've got a ton of PVC left over for another mount. The nice thing is I could use something like this on my boat as well, so it's a kind of a universal deal in my application. But we're going to go ahead and cut to the kayak itself, and we're going to get started with mounting the rod holder for the base. All right, so we got the mount all put together. We're going to go ahead and install our rod holder right here. So it's going to sit kind of in this flat part, just like that. So we're going to go ahead and mark our center hole first. Anytime you're drilling into your kayak, you want to make sure you get everything exactly where you want it, because once you drill a hole, that hole ain't going away. So I'm going to kind of mark, I guess, where the center of the rod holder is going to be, and I'm just going to set that, just make a little indentation right there. So then we're going to go ahead and we'll just drill a small pilot hole. So the one downside of this kayak is I don't have any access points. So everything I do is going to have to be, you know, from the location. So we're going to use screws. So to drill the hole to accommodate the bottom peg of the rod mount, I'm going to go ahead and use let's see what size this is. This is an 1 3/8" hole saw bit. So, and it's got the centering pilot. So the key with these is just going real slow. We've got our center point marked, so we're going to go ahead and start drilling that. All right, so we got that hole drilled. So now we'll go ahead and test fit our rod mount. And that'll work perfect. Drops right in. And I'm actually getting ready to go out on the water here in a little bit, so I will at some point come back and put a little bit of silicone in between this just to seal this hole off. I don't really intend on getting water up in this area, but you never know. So we'll go ahead and get this set up and get our screws in. Once again, we're going to drill some pilot holes with just a small drill bit. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to switch over to a screwdriver bit. One downside with these stainless steel screws is that they do not stick to the magnetic drill bit tip. Once again, when you run these in, you definitely don't want to strip them out. So, you know, don't run them in there at full speed. If you don't want to use a drill, that's fine. You can go ahead and use just a screwdriver. But you want to leave them nice and tight, but not to the point where it strips the screw out. All right, so there is our rod mount. It's got a nice cover on it, so it gives a nice fit and finish, and that'll accept our PVC pipe that we made. So we